harmony and the kinds of flow that is constantly projected and presented by a river are just like so massive, they are so profound. We had to find a space that evolves. And in all the elements, actually water is the most sort of evolving element. Also, water symbolizes a cleansing. So that kind of lightness that we need in order to make this music is so essential. When I was given the gift from a young age, it was given through water, where according to how people read it, I actually drowned. But then the elders in the village said, it's impossible for someone to drown for a long period of time and come back with an empty tummy. So already at that point, I was taken to the underworlds. So this record is my second visit to the underworlds. My first visit was when I was 13, and this is so many years later. The thing about water, for me, it becomes a space for rituals. So the idea of swimming as a sport, for me, is something that is almost impossible to do. Because then my understanding is informed by water as a sacred space, so I cannot play there. I go there for rituals.
We've just decided to come here, Mlazi, and just speak to my mom, tell her about the project and get some blessings from her. And we'll also have Ubaba on a call on loudspeaker and then get some blessings from him. Because I truly believe it's important for me to, to always come home and get blessings when I'm doing some work. That's where I get a direction of doing anything that I do.
Babona mandonke nangoyise Nkosi yethu Jesu Kristu. Siyabonga Nkosi ngalolu suku lanamhlanje. Sibonga nesengcwele konke othe wasenzela khona. Okungeyona Nkosi yami intando yethu, kodwa Nkosi yami kusuke kuyintando yakho. Impumelelo yabantwana bethu Nkosi isezandleni zakho Nkosi, akusikho ukuhlakanipha kwabo nokwazi kwabo. Kepha Nkosi yami kuwumusa obenzele wona. Ngibonga ke uNkulunkulu olungileyo ukuthi ubathwalile besuka endaweni yaseGoli bezofinyelela Nkosi yami ngaphakathi kwamagceke aseMlazi la Nkosi yami ulinda ezalelwe khona. Siyabonga Nkosi, sicela ukuthi ubagcine ke emeso engcwele, ubusise nalomsebenzi wabo abawenzayo Nkosi womculo, ubandisele uNkulunkulu olungileyo ngezikhathi zonke. Yiba nabo ke Jehova, nanxa bezophindela emuva Nkosi la besebenzela khona, wena Nkosi yami ubahole, ngoba wena Nkosi yami uyingilosi yokulunga meso engcwele. Siyakunxusa ke Jehova nakuba ubaba wekhaya engakwazanga ukuthi afike, kepha Nkosi wena ukhona. Sithemba wena kukho konke meso engcwele. Bagcine emsini nasothandweni lakho. Nabanye Nkosi yami abafisayo ukuthi bangene kulomkhakha, sicela Nkosi yami ukuba bagqugquzeleke emeso engcwele babone bona Nkosi yami nabo bakuthande lokho abakwenzayo siyanxusa ke Jehova ukuthi ubaphe amandla ngaso sonke isikhathi ukuthi baphumelele ezintweni abazenzayo ubaphe nokuthi bayimisele nothando futhi lomsebenzi wabo ngiyabonga ngegama lakhe elingcwele manje uzele phakathi amen.
Sesemncane ndaqubula konke ndangena endleleni ndaqola itiketi konce ndaqola itileni ngushwekela mndale ngathela ndandinemibuzo ngenampendulo kodwa injongo yandihuqa ndashixeka umzingisakanahlwa amba mfo wam suncancazela ndibiziwe iyosabela ndibiziwe ndasabela ubizo iyosabela.
The way I sing, I diombela,
ndasabela ubizo iyosabela ngizowanyukana baninala maqina.
It's not a polished singing, the scatting and all those things. It's traditional, the way you would sing emgidini, the way you would sing Xaku and Tlombeni, so that's how I sing. My voice is not that polished, it's not jazz, it's not anything else, but it's, it is what it is, and it's inspired by this area.
Oh, alele, oh, oh,
I feel like, the ideas of a commercial world are problematic when you're dealing with these kind of themes. And also this further speaks to some of the ideas around major record labels, for instance, like being with Universal and the kind of language that is used. So like I'm basically creating an archive, and the archive doesn't need commercial success. So when the San people were making rock art, they didn't think about commercial success. They were documenting a story, they were creating an archive. So like that's really my idea. So in terms of how do I then live through my craft, the ancestors take care of that, man. Like the kind of light that has been shining towards the work the past, at least 10 years, man, like, has been special, like I have enough, and they continue to, because I'm doing the work. So they are aware that I'm doing their work. Even the universe is aware that I need food because I'm doing work, So like I even like fantasize like sometimes that like even if I were not to do any gigs, like food will just flow from, like will just drop from the sky because I'm doing such important work. And I realized from a very early age that it was important work, and it was not elevating myself, but it was important for me to know that the work was important, and also just so that I channel with a particular kind of seriousness, because I understand the importance of the work. It doesn't elevate it beyond what the other people are doing, but it contributes to a greater communal work, and we're all just doing what I could call like planetary work,
Iphupho refers to God, as the giver and fulfiller of dreams, and then Biko, black consciousness, not necessarily just him, but then you have your Mamwini Mandela, you have your Sobukwe. It's about like black consciousness and the liberation of black people in a broader spectrum, into that diaspora. We are just seeking freedom constantly. In every beat, in every note, it's for freedom. And also to glorify the Almighty.
Forward with the 1976 generation, forward. Long live the spirit of Stephen Bantu Biko, long live. Long live the spirit of Robert Sobukwe, long live. Long live the spirit of Tiati Mashinini, long live. Long live the spirit of Winnie Nomzamo Mandela, long live. Long live the spirit of Charlotte Makake, long live. Long live the spirit of Lilian Ngoyi, long live. Long live, long live. Long live, long live. Long live, long live. Long live. Long live, 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 long live. Manda. Thank you very much. Just the first ones. Ungasiboni masokola we-premblade ungasiboni masiso the first ones, and then see yebo sizophuma thina sizophuma for the other ones, and you go back to Thina.
I just said to listen to my body, listen to my spirit. What is it that you want? How can you, in the best way possible, be unlocked, and become. And I just had to follow my heart. And so that's when I met like my peers who were in this movement. By virtue of being in this skin, you will be conscious because South Africa reminds you that you are black. So it happened, I started meeting those people, and my way of thinking and my approach with the music as well had that kind of impact. And then that's when I drifted away from the jazz circles to say, let us cultivate our own sounds. And met Misegas, like I love like her voice, let's see what we can get, through jam sessions, met Tiamo, met Kucho, met Lebu, we go way back, met Koketso Power Sive, and it's all in these spaces, the PS Street, be it Mickey's, be it coffee shop, be it here, Kitcheners, be it the Orbit, neighborhoods, like those kind of vibes. But initially, we're most likely gonna conform, but then we thank God that we encountered with people at a different way, but yet we have the same spirit and the same consciousness. I mean, as black people, we don't have a reason to believe that God exists. If we look at our current conditions as blacks, even for the past couple of centuries, like there's no reason for us to say, uThixo ukhona.
Spectrum Africa, Spectrum Africa, Spectrum Africa, Spectrum Africa.
Okay, stop it. We can eliminate that. Yes, Buddha.
It's flat.
Sure. We're gonna do 2 takes whereby we are imitator, ne? And then another take, you're gonna like intentionally trace vibrato yake in a way to justify it. But for now, do it clean, imitating her, and then the second time around.
Spectrum Africa, Spectrum Africa.
God is either dead or deaf, and so like we're bringing that conversation to say, if you're gonna say God does not exist, why? As we say, he exists for this reason, yeah.
taught me more about family than music. The music is the sideshow. The lesson is people. And sometimes I've failed the test. Dismally. Interestingly enough, the music is a chance again to bring people in and to learn the lesson better. And the music is the second chance to have another go at learning how to treat people and learning how to be a better person in a community. Jazz musicians will tell you about that all the time. It's more obvious in their discipline because they need to learn how to listen and respond. They need to learn how to take space and leave space. They need to understand so much in terms of it's your turn. It's the Msaki quartet now, and then it's the Thandinduli sextet now, and then it's the bassist time to compose, and we're supporting you. And so there's a different understanding of democracy. Whereas, unfortunately, the space that I'm in, where we're thrust into this Afro-pop songstress, the band dissolves in your name and everybody falls into your identity and they become these faceless people that are just moving instruments and sound around you, and you're supposedly all that exists, and it's so unhealthy. Probably play it a bit faster, so let me play. We're gonna be in time. So we'll break this up, loop into this, and we're gonna have a click on. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Do you guys want to carry on rehearsing the second half so that when we go in, should we go do the skits?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Yes, there's an army about the club.
Isn't there?
There's an army about the club.
Isn't there?
There's an army about the club. Isn't there?
Isn't there an army there? If you had to ask me about 3 things that I'm passionate about, I'd be like community, creativity, and communion, and whatever. And communion for me means that that connection to the source. The reason why I hear songs in my head and in my sleep.
Yeah.
Isn't there an army about the club? 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 Isn't there an army in Bataclan? Isn't there an army in Bataclan? Isn't there an army in Bataclan?
This is where you're supposed to sing with Sikhakhane.
An army in Bataclan? Isn't there?
Passionate about the seeking, of that understanding. And sometimes that's a tough contrast to daily life, the seeking and the living.